Hi, this is Jeff Smith. I'm the legal and regulatory reporter for Marijuana Business Daily. This video is part of our ongoing coverage of legalization efforts across the country. For more, read mjbizdaily.com. Today, we're going to talk about coronavirus and how that's hurt legalization efforts in the short term, but some experts believe there's reasons why legalization efforts will accelerate once the virus is under control. And I'm going to share with you the map we did back in January and look at how things have changed since then. We had identified a lot of strong cannabis legalization prospects in the East Coast. By then, in fact, New Jersey lawmakers had already put an adult use initiative on the November ballot, so that one is set. In New York, Governor Andrew Cuomo wanted to include rec marijuana in his budget bill for the fiscal year beginning on April 1st. But as all of you know, coronavirus has overwhelmed New York, so Cuomo has abandoned that effort. In fact, recently said it's unlikely rec will move forward this year, although experts think there might be some budgetary pressures for them to legalize. In Vermont, the State House and State Senate there have approved a commercial rec bill, but they disagree on some of those details. So that has to be resolved for the final bill to pass. Right now, Vermont is trying to work remotely, their legislature trying to work remotely, but it's unclear whether or not that bill will be done. And Connecticut, we just don't think that rec legalization looks very likely given the current situation with coronavirus. Now, before we did this story, just before, an initiative to put rec marijuana on the ballot in Florida was abandoned. Just they kind of ran out of time to collect signatures, so they're turning their attention to 2022 instead. And shortly after this article was published, New Mexico's legislature stalled on a rec marijuana bill, so that won't happen this year. Across the country, we've seen some disruption from coronavirus. Medical marijuana bills were making some progress in both Alabama and Kentucky. It would have been a tough go in either state. But now with coronavirus, those legislatures are really focusing on the highest priority items. And we've just seen a slew of ballot initiatives across the country be suspended because of coronavirus. It doesn't look like they're likely to reach the ballot, and that, the November ballot, and that includes medical marijuana legalization campaigns in Idaho, North Dakota, and Nebraska, and rec campaigns in Montana, Missouri, and Oklahoma. However, there are some bright spots. In Mississippi, a business-friendly medical cannabis initiative already had qualified for the November ballot. However, it has some competition. Lawmakers there have put forth a more restrictive measure, so voters will see two initiatives on the November ballot. In Arizona, citizens backing a rec marijuana initiative believe they've collected enough signatures to place that on the ballot in November, but those signatures still must be verified. And in South Dakota, before coronavirus, both a medical and an adult use initiative had qualified for the November ballot. Now, some experts believe that once we get through this crisis, legalization efforts could accelerate. Of course, we know that there's wide public support for legalization. But two, during this crisis, we've seen that many states have declared cannabis an essential business, which bodes well. And then third, states are spending so many resources fighting coronavirus that they may be more desperate than ever to legalize in order to raise revenues for the state coffers. We've already seen throughout the past recent years that legalization, is partly an opportunity for states to raise money. So that's an update of where we stand right now. For more coverage, read mjbizdaily.com. This is Jeff Smith, Marijuana Business Daily.